Three nature-loving best friends who had a passion to live in nature and explore nature. These three best friends go to the cave city and start exploring an unexpected cave there. Unaware of this, a dangerous danger is waiting for them inside the cave. When they went inside the cave, there were three best friends, but only two came back outside. This is the dangerous breakdown of the William J. Coughlin incident. On May 28, 1993, William J. Coughlin and his two friends, James Jacala and Kevin Ferry, leave Illinois for Cave City, Kentucky in a car. These three like to live in nature like me. That's why they were going to the city of Kentucky, because the city of Kentucky is in the middle of nature. And the city of Kentucky was called Cave City because there are a lot of caves here. After a drive of 8 hours, they reach the city of Kentucky. But when they go to the city of Kentucky, they read the TMH brochure there, in which there was an advertisement of 2 tours for the public in Buzzard's Roost Cave. The name of the first tour was Historic Cave Tour, and the name of the second tour was Wild Cave Tour. In the Historic Cave Tour, tourists easily went to the cave and saw the beautiful views and the history of the cave in the cave, which was made on the rocks, and enjoyed it fully. But in the Wild Cave Tour, the tourist was given the experience of cave exploring. Because in this tour, the paths of the cave were very thin and crooked, because of which the tourist had to go in a circle on the way, and the stones of the cave were also very sharp. These three friends also wanted to go on this tour, but for some reason, these three could not explore the cave on May 28th and 29th. Then on May 30th, William Coughlin, James Jacala, and Kevin Ferry go to Buzzard's Roost Cave, where these three friends meet 5 more people, of which 4 were tourists, but the 5th was David Hardin, who guided everyone in the cave. All these people pay money to David Hardin for a tour of Buzzard's Roost Cave. Then David Hardin gives them all a form to sign, in which it was written that we believe that exploring is a dangerous activity in itself. We accept all risks ourselves. We, the owners, operators, employees of Buzzard's Roost Historic Cave, will keep all the stakes, cases, proceedings, losses, and fines safe. And in the same way, many other things were also written in the form. David Hardin does not give everyone a separate form, but gets everyone signed in the same form. But Kevin Ferry did not want to do this cave tour. That's why he decides to stay outside the cave. Now at 4:30 in the afternoon, William Coughlin, James Jacala, and the rest of the people go on a historic cave tour. All these people easily go to the cave, feel the stones and rocks, and there were a lot of historical things on the rocks that all these people see. All these people have a lot of fun there, because this cave experience is new for all these people. After enjoying the historic cave tour a lot, when these people come out of the cave. So these people have so much fun in the cave that all these people pay money to David Hardin for the Wild Cave Tour. It meant that all those people will now go for the Wild Cave Tour. And this was the biggest mistake of all of them, when everyone paid money to David Hardin for the Wild Cave Tour. So David Hardin gave everyone a separate form and got them signed on that form. When everyone signed on the form, then David Hardin gave them a 2-handled flashlight and explained to everyone that they will listen to him, i.e. Hardin, and will navigate among themselves. All these people set out for the Wild Cave Tour on the evening of May 30th. The roads of this cave were so narrow that all these people were going in a circle. David Hardin was walking ahead of everyone, who was guiding them all. There were 4 more tourists behind David and James Jacala behind them. And at the very end, William Coughlin was running. The worst thing for William Coughlin was that he was the tallest and strongest man among all these people. William Coughlin, 27 years old, was 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed 105 kilograms, because of which he was running ahead of difficulty in these narrow roads. And because of the narrow roads, he had a lot of scratches and wounds on his body from the stones, because of which William Coughlin was screaming in the middle. But his friend James Jacala keeps comforting William. After walking ahead of the ring for a while, these people reach halfway through the cave, from where they get a 30-foot wooden ladder to go down. Hardin tells everyone that they have to go down this ladder now, and they don't have any blank gear, so they all have to get down the ladder carefully. That's why all the people get down the ladder carefully. It was an easy way, but another dangerous ladder was waiting for them. This second ladder was only 15 to 20 feet long, and this ladder was hanging on a narrow gauge rock, because of which it was very difficult to hold on to the stick of this ladder. And this second ladder goes down from a very narrow and dangerous pit. and there is a big hole under this ladder where the tour ends. And then as soon as these people came down, they had to go up again. It seemed easy to see, but the most dangerous thing was this. To go from the first ladder to the second ladder, the team had to cross this V-type road, which was going to be very difficult for William Coughlin to cross. But somehow William and everyone crossed this road. By this time, the whole team was tired. But still, those people go down the second ladder and go to the big hole. Then David Hardin tells them that this tour is officially over. That's why all the people clapped together. But what did they know that a very big danger is waiting for them now? Now it was 7 in the evening. David Hardin gathers everyone and tells them that those people are always walking behind. That's why they have to get out of the cave soon. But the team says, no, let's take some rest now, because all the people are tired. And most of all, William Coughlin was tired. But David Hardin had to go out of the cave and call. That's why David Hardin leaves them all in the hole and goes out of the cave at 7:15. Now it was 40 to 45 minutes. But David Hardin did not come back to the cave. That's why everyone thought that he himself goes out of the cave. That's why everyone leaves William and climbs the second ladder and goes up. Now it's William Coughlin's turn. William has to face a lot of difficulties in climbing the ladder. One way was very thin, according to the body of William Coughlin, and the second William Coughlin was very tired. William tries to go up the ladder twice, but he becomes unsuccessful in this. But William's friend James Jacala motivates him from above. Some people standing on the ladder go out of the cave to find David Hardin. William Coughlin gets very frustrated while standing on the wooden ladder, and William Coughlin was feeling weakness from inside. That's why he starts climbing the ladder in anger. But then his hand slips due to a stone, and he falls down 7 feet, and his head hits a rock. William screams and blood starts flowing from his head. Immediately, James Jacala and some other tourists come to William and calm William. James Jacala tries to stop the blood from William's head with a torn cloth. James immediately tells his other tourists to go out of the cave and call Hardin and a doctor. Some tourists and David Hardin come to the cave after a while. James Jacala gets angry at Hardin because Hardin came alone to the cave. He did not come with any doctor. David Hardin reassures James that he will take William Coughlin out of the cave, but William was feeling dizzy, and his head was hurting due to the injury on his head. David Hardin suggests to James that they will take William Coughlin up the ladder, but James Jacala told Hardin in anger that this is impossible. But David Hardin told James that they have no other option, so they have to do this. James Jacala agrees with Hardin. James Jacala stands up to pull his friend, and David Hardin pushes William from below. With great difficulty, these two were slowly taking William up. These two successfully took William up the ladder. But now there was going to be a big twist in this rescue. James Jacala and David Hardin had to get William out of this V-shaped path, which was going to be very difficult, because William had to go down this way first, and his body had to be turned to the other side. First, Hardin pushed William down the pit slowly, and then William himself turned this way to cross the V-shaped path, and his body got stuck in the V-shaped path like this, and his hand got stuck under his stomach. William was in pain. So William started screaming very loudly because he was stuck in the way in such a way that he could not even move his body, and William had a lot of pain in his head and back. Seeing William's condition, he was soon contacted by the rescue team. The rescue team of Cave City reached the cave around 10:30 at night, and it was taken care that there was not much terror outside the cave, but still some people gathered outside the cave, which in 1925 was talking about Floyd Collins getting stuck in the cave. William was taken out of the cave at 10:30 at night. First, some doctors treated the wound on William's head, and then oxygen was given to him through oxygen gas. At night, the temperature of the city of Kentucky began to fall, because of which William was now afraid of hypothermia. But the worst thing was that William Coughlin got stuck in the way like this. David Hardin got stuck behind him. This meant that William Coughlin would have to be taken out of the cave as soon as possible. First of all, the rescuer gave William something to eat and coffee, and through a small hole, David Hardin was also given all this. James Jacala was still with William and was constantly talking to him, so that William Coughlin does not feel lonely. And then the rescuer started installing a pulley system on the way, by which William was trying to get out. But William was in a lot of pain, and this plan also flopped. Now it was 1 o'clock in the night, that is 1 in the morning of Monday. By this time, William had stopped talking, and he was completely quiet. The rescue team worked hard all night, but this hard work of theirs was of no use. Because William Coughlin died at 5 in the morning, the rescue team worked hard all day, on May 31st at 12:45 in the afternoon. Somehow, William Coughlin's body was taken out of the cave when the doctor checked his body. Then it was found that William had a head injury, and William died due to excessive bleeding. After the death of William Coughlin, his family filed a case against the owner of the cave. When this case went to court, then the owner of the cave showed the same form to the judge, in which all the people and William had signed before entering the cave, in which it was written that all these people are going to the cave at their own risk, and if something happens to them in the cave, then there is no fault of the owner, operator, and employees of the cave. Because of this form, William Coughlin's family loses this case.